What if moving forward isn't a straight line? What if it bends like memory? What if it circles back? There's a kind of map that I carry in my body. It's not the kind you fold. It's made of green grease, the hum of box fans, and hurricane winds. This map has names like Scott's, Ghoul's, Chocolate City, and Overtown in it. I am asphalt and fire ants, sweet blood for mosquitoes. I am the daughter of tobacco fields. I am the grandchild of mustard greens of muscadines fermented and turned into moonshine. I come from down south and up north. You can find me latched to a gate in Richmond Heights, trailing a vine of dewberries ripening for deep pies. I know the aroma of outside, on black necks, cutting through tall grass in Lauderdale back when all that used to be wood, see. That's an ancient Negro proverb. I got mango juice stains on my collar from summers in Old Orange Grove. That is the beginning of my poem, Miami's Atlas. It's a map of memory, a geography of inheritance. It is a reminder that the places we come from are not just backgrounds. They are archives, and archives aren't just dusty boxes. They're alive. They sing, they speak, they interrupt, they insist. I was raised in Richmond Heights, but I have traversed, lived, worked, and leisured in the historic black neighborhoods here in this city. All these places carry their own distinct textures, but they are connected by different threads of reinvention, imagination, survival, resilience, intention, and spirit that lives in the DNA. Growing up, I didn't always understand that my neighborhood was an archive, that the elders on porches were walking primary sources, that the stories they shared, the food we ate, the way our mothers called us to come home, they were all a kind of record keeping, a way of saying we were here and we are still here. I am just like my mother, coming and going. A soft song stays stuck in my throat like hymns floating over wooden pews in a church in Perrine in a collective utterance. I'm in the crux of my mother's elbow, forehead between armpit and chest, itchy rayon floral printed dress socks sleeping to the murmuring of ceiling fans. See, memory mapping for me is a way of locating oneself, not just through streets and addresses, but through sensations, stories, and ancestral recall. It's a technique that I learned from black cartographers, and it's a technique that I use in my performances, my workshops, and overall practices, because when we begin to chart our memories, we begin to understand what shaped us and what deserves to be preserved. Memory mapping asks, what's been paved over? What's still stirring underneath the concrete? Who are the architects of the neighborhoods that live in our chest? See, I know tea green Japanese silk with a faux feather lining, cascading across my grandmama's orange shag rug in Carroll City, and I am the survivor of hurricanes. I'm the survivor of cocaine, of Yahweh ben Yahweh, of voter fraud, of redlining, of yellow caution tape, and of floodlines. When discussing progress, especially in a city like Miami, the conversation centers around new developments, new condos, new names, new lanes. But what is the cost of this kind of forward movement when it forgets what's already there? I desire to be a cash king in the corner store. Find me making a bounty of $5. And here is where the block banter occurs, where the men can always find work but can't stay off the curb. After a bottle of wild Irish rose, expect the dialogue to turn into verbs and slurs, see. Their conversations continue on into the dark, where the street lights beam down like stars on parked cars. My daughter, Arsimmer McCoy Smith, was born in 2010 while I was still a student at the historic Florida Memorial University in Opelika. Lions, roar some more. I realized I needed to provide financially. So I left school to find a job and decided to make my full-time focus raising her. Work didn't come right away, so I used resources like WIC, food stamps, and cash assistance. In order to qualify for cash assistance, you had to sign up for an assigned job. Out of the list, I chose the Black Archives, which at the time was housed in a small room in the Joseph Caleb Center. On my first day, I was tasked with organizing a collection of obituaries. Now, I know that sounds morbid, but my God, it changed my life. Each obituary told the story of a life lived, their families, their joys, the chapters they would never finish. Reading them affirmed to me that no matter the journey, every person, every black man, mother, daughter, grandfather, uncle, whoever, although they are gone, should never be forgotten. My time there was brief. The archives were in a period of transition, and I soon found steady work. I would reconnect with the Black Archives later in a different capacity, but this time in their new home in the historic Lyric Theater. I would go on to be the first Lyric Live winner of an Apollo-styled competition. I would have to compete every last Friday of the month for 3 months until it came to the grand finale. My name is etched on a plaque inside of that theater. Now, I didn't do it at the time for recognition. Every time you won, you got $500. I did it for the money. And that money went to my wedding. And that wedding would be the first ever held in that same theater. I tell y'all, everything was perfect, except the two people getting married. It be like that. It be like that. And much like the groom and I, some people would rather forget things that should be honored, remembered, and archived. I am chaos in Liberty City, watching from across 54th Street as Norton Tire burns, and I'm juking in a post-apocalyptic movie on top of broken glass in front of Adam's grocery store about the verdict of Arthur McDuffie. What if progress isn't about replacing, but remembering? What if innovation includes preservation? That question is what led me to conceive my passion project, the Carroll City Museum, a space that reclaims what mainstream narratives often look over, a homegrown institution that doesn't just display history, it performs it, it lives it, part archive, part art gallery, part artist residency. Although the museum carries the historic name of the location where it resides, its story extends far beyond the building itself. It will honor the stories of Overtown, artists like Purvis Young and Reginald O'Neill, whose mural paying tribute to the birth city that he is from adorns the exterior of the International Longshoremen's Union Local 1416 building, say that 10 times fast, constructed in 1955. The museum will teach children about the families of Colored Town, also known as the City of Churches, who created a way out of no way through worship, community care, and service. There will be VR trips to see the murals at Dorsey Park. People will come in and listen to audio recordings of the jazz musicians that played on Avenue G, but overall, they will know that Overtown is a testament to the grit, grace, and audacity that the Black hands of this city built. Brown little baby of the city. I know nothing here was made for me, but nothing would stand if I shrugged, so you can call me Atlas. I want air that don't taste like gas. I want you to see me as God intended. I want to be vulnerable and not regret the fallout. I want the ancient cities from ghouls to pleasant preserved in gold. I want your apology to be just as loud as your disrespect. And I want the cranes shrouding the skylines to disintegrate into salt so the kids can skate on 65th Street again. Hear me clear. I do not speak for Overtown. I speak alongside it in reverence. The people of Overtown and the Black neighborhoods in this city, they know what they need. All you have to do is listen. This talk is simply an offering, a way of me saying, let us honor our inheritance. Let us document what we know. Let us teach our children to map memory like a sacred science. Because when you know where you come from, you walk into the future whole. I am soft sun behind lavender and cerulean skies. I am the Gandhi dancer, On my way home from Overtown to Coconut Grove to Lemon City to Brownsville, and I'm taking a break to sip my limeade and bite my Johnny cake with sweat creating pools in the small of my back, shading my eyes, always looking towards home.